Okay, so my height is 5'6" with a 30-inch inseam. This is what it looks like on the Bear 650. So actually, even though it has high ground clearance, putting the bike on center is easy. So even though it's 215 plus kilograms, it's still manageable. And this is what it looks like. I can tiptoe on both ends, or I can just flat foot on one end, like that. And then for the ergonomics, once you're sitting on the bike, let me just demonstrate it to you. It's very upright. The handlebars are wide, as if it's made for taller people, but the height of the handlebar is rather contradicting. If you're a taller person and you stand up on the bike, you might want to have risers for this one. So yeah, very upright, very relaxed, wide handlebar. I just wish it was a bit higher.
Hey, beautiful day to you. So welcome to the ride review of the Royal Enfield Bear 650. So what can I say about the Royal Enfield Bear 650? Well, first off, it's a bike full of muscle. From its structure, from its styling, the engine, it's just a good composition that results into a very muscular output. And, you know, overall aesthetics, performance, that's the essence of the Bear 650. So some may say that the spec sheet is not that amazing, but this is one of the bikes that you should test out first before you can get a conclusion. Because I've tested a few Royal Enfields before, and even though their spec sheets it's not that amazing, you know, it's still a fun ride. Now, I would like to talk about the ergonomics for this thing. I can say it's upright. It's supposed to be upright, but the design of the handlebar is really wide, in a sense that it's a drag bar that is elevated, if you know what I mean. It's a straight bar with a bit of elevation, so in a sense that you can take it for light off-roading. Now for its engine, it's still the same. It's still the beloved 650 platform, the parallel twin with 270-degree crank. Beautiful sounding engine, but right now this has the 2-in-1 exhaust system. If I'm going to modify this bike, I'm going to start with the exhaust, because the sound is really muted for the stock one. The 650 platform, I can say, is one of the best in terms of transmission. It runs really smooth. The first to fifth gear is usable, but in terms of the sixth gear, you won't feel that much power at that point. But like, this bike is designed to have a 5-speed gearbox anyway, but yeah, I think having a 6 gear is nice. Okay, so next up is the suspension. People who reviewed this motorcycle says that the suspension is really stiff, and I've asked people who own this and saw some YouTube comments as well from other reviews that they just needed to break in the suspension at the back, and it's going to be a lot better. So right now you might not be hearing the engine because of course it's stock, and then there's a lot of other vehicles on the road. But let me just try to pull one for you. Okay, so yeah, that's the engine. It's just kind of a shame because I'm currently limited with the stock exhaust, because once you change the exhaust, you'll feel really be happy with the sound of this engine. And by the way, I think this is a good bike, especially for the Manila roads, because of course the roads are not that perfect, and then it just has high ground clearance. And then even for a 200 plus or 215 ballpark weight of the motorcycle, this feels really good. For my skill level, it feels very flickable. There's lots of power if you need to overtake. The one thing about it, since it has a very wide handlebar, filtering through traffic is quite a different story. You might need to get used to the length of the handlebar. It's kind of wide. And for the display, it might be flickering on your end. It's actually just the refresh rate of the screen and the frame rate of my camera. So in real life, it's just one good TFT display. Though my comment is, especially when I'm riding at the morning, the handlebar, it's chrome, right? There's like a insert here for the pillow. It's kind of difficult to see the light indicators below. Again, it's such a shame that this has this stock exhaust, because when you rev match this thing, it sounds really good. And speaking of looking good, look at that. Okay, so about the tires, it feels good. I haven't ridden this on the rain yet, and fortunately recently the weather is good, so they look like the Pirelli Scorpions, but this is actually the MRF. Now for the engine heat, if you use this for long commutes with stop and go traffic, you might feel engine heat, especially coming from the left side, even though the headers and the exhaust is located on the right now. Using this for commute, it's a good all-rounder bike actually. Now, a bit of a complaint for the ergonomics. My foot is positioned in a quite of an awkward way. So for the brake pedal, my foot is pointed towards the engine, while the shift pedal, my foot is like outwards because the pedal is actually far to the left. So when I ride this for the first time, my foot was actually looking for the shift pedal. Now for the seat, from other reviewers as well, they said that it's kind of hard. It has a bench style or bench type of seat. I've been riding this for quite a while now and I feel comfortable. And if you're having a pillion rider, I think you're going to be comfortable as well. Oh look, an R90. This bike is actually fun. It's actually good to use. It's not a boring bike, but I think it caters to a specific type of rider. These are not for the performance thirsty riders, but this bike can be fun if you're the right kind of rider for this. And for me, I can say this is a good bike. And for the braking, by the way, I haven't mentioned it yet. So you have a switch here that you can automatically switch off the ABS. And that's perfect if you're going to use this for off-road, because the last thing you want on an off-road setting is you have ABS interfering your riding conditions. And have you heard the horn? I think this is one of the best horns that I've used. It's one of the I really like the 270 platform, especially on this is perfect for bikes like this where you just travel at lower RPMs like that, overtaking power. And by the way, for the brakes, yeah, they work good for the amount of power that this bike provides. There's sufficient power that it can do. Alright, so that's it for the Royal Enfield Bear 650. I can say this is a very muscular bike. This is a compilation of all of Royal Enfield's development throughout the years. It's very classic looking, it's very rugged, it's very muscular. For the suspension at the back, I think you just really need to break it in. So for the tires, I wish it was really tubeless, but unfortunately the tires for this requires an inner tube. It doesn't feel really cramped. You have lots of moving space. Of course, this is a naked bike. It might feel a little bit of awkward, especially from the start, but eventually you'll learn from it and develop and grow alongside the bike. So if you're looking for a bike with the likes of a scrambler that is an all-rounder as well, the Bear 650 starts at a base price of 445,000 Philippine pesos. Again, thank you so much to Royal Enfield Philippines for entrusting me this bike for a week. Thank you so much for watching. This is Neo. As always, ride safe and see you on the road.